lured. And just like that, your boy back. SK broke off. Report to you live on scene. 500 Pearl Street. Federal court case for Sean P. Diddy for the United States of America versus Sean P. Diddy Combs. Hey, so now let's get right to the shits now. Hey, I got a lot of stuff to cover, so the boy gotta get right to the shit. So now, like I said, today was mainly about the defense presenting their closing argument. Diddy head attorney Marc Agnifilo, damn it, I just need the man's name. Big Marc. I'm just gonna say it, Big Marc, all right? Big Marc got up, did his thing. So now, start back off where I stopped it the last time, all right? So now, what he said he said basically this case is about 5 things, all right? This case is about love. He mentioned the fact that love was mentioned 881 times throughout the testimony of this court case. Jealousy, infidelity, money, and domestic violence. He said they are going to concede domestic violence, and if this was a domestic violence case, there will be no argument. His client will take his plea deal because he's guilty of domestic violence. But he said he's fighting the sex trafficking, the RICO, and the interstate prostitution because he does not feel he's guilty of that. That is not what he did. So that's where they stand at today, all right? So now, about the video, he started off, he said, look, everybody's seen that video at some point in time, right? Everybody's seen the video. Video's bad. But he said this: I want you to go and look at this IG post Cassie made directly after the video was released. And they pulled the damn IG post up. And the IG post, Cassie basically said, thank you for the love and support, but domestic violence is the issue. And he drove that home point blank that, look, she says it right here. This issue was about domestic violence. Point blank, period. All right? I'm telling you this. Bam is not a Cassie, Jane, or Mia fan. Or Capricorn. He is not fans of theirs. He was talking greasy about them all day in court. Jokes, sneak disses, everything. Like, he was on their ass. All right, so now, he started off on Puff and Cassie's relationship, right? So he says, talk about their relationship, all right? So he said, they basically said they had a real relationship. They was in love with each other, just like a real relationship. Like, her boyfriend was into some things, and because he was into it, she was into it. Like how a normal relationship works. There's a lot of love, a lot of jealousy, infidelity. He said Mr. Combs made no doubts. It's not hidden that Puff had dealt with other women, and that bothered her at times. They had issues with stuff like that, right? And he said the other thing we drive home is, he said Cassie's no dummy. He's like, the prosecution wants to paint her as some helpless, naive damsel in distress. He's like, Cassie's no dummy. And he said, quote, Cassie ain't a dummy. She got $30 million. Puff is in jail. It's clear who won this situation. Like, he broke that shit down. Everybody started laughing in the courtroom. He's like, she's no idiot. He's like, Puff had other women and went quit him. And when Cassie was fed up with that, she left. And he said when she had enough, she left. And he said she left and nothing happened. Nobody ran her down, drug her back to Puff. Nobody forced her to say when she was done and she left, she was gone. So they say this whole thing about her being helpless and couldn't get away from Puff is just not true. Because when she was finally decided she was done with Puff, she left, and that was just the end of it. All right. Okay. Then he pointed out this, as far as the sex trafficking and free calls. He said basically, the prosecution has showed you hundreds of text messages. There's not one text message where Cassie says, I don't like our sex life. So he drove that home to drop on the fact that, that she was being sex trafficked against her will. She didn't like that. At no point in time in any text message did she say, I don't like our sex life. All right. He also said, okay, so he talked about what Cuddy got on the stand. He said Cuddy got on the stand. He said he used this further to kill the idea of Cassie being just some naive, damsel in distress. He said Cuddy got on this stand and when confronted with the question, said Cassie played both of us, meaning that Cassie not only played Cuddy, she was also playing Puff. He basically broke it down that Cassie was still living with Puff and with Puff when she started messing with Cuddy. And she told Cuddy that it was no longer a thing with him or her and Puff. And basically she had a burner phone for talking strictly to Cuddy. And then he brought this situation that I didn't know about. He says that at one point in time, for Valentine's Day, Cassie got, I think he said Valentine's Day. Must have been Valentine's Day. Cassie got 2 rooms. She got a room for her and Puff to do a freak off, and she had a completely separate room where she held her burner phone. So he was like, let's reevaluate this. Not only is she talking to both these men simultaneously and lying to both of them about not talking to the other or hiding from either one, that he's not talking to the other, but she had a burner phone strictly for talking to this one man. And he was like, finally a burner phone in the court. He's like, oh, now we're in the federal court case. We got a burner phone. Like, this is something that's familiar with a federal crime. Our burner phone. Finally, we got something in this courtroom that goes in line typically with a federal court, where a federal case should be. Like, he was animated with that shit. Like, finally, there's something here that matches what a federal crime should be. Our burner phone. But he was like, she was so scared and helpless that she was still staying with this man while seeing other people. So basically, he was really trying to drive it home to the fact that she was not living in fear. She was not some damsel in distress who was naive. She was basically with the shits. She was a very smart woman who was maneuvering how she maneuvered. All right. He literally said, wait. He said she had a relationship with Cuddy under Puff's nose. She wasn't scared of Puff. He said, quote, Cassie was keeping it gangster. That was the exact quote he used. Cassie was keeping it gangster. She had a burner phone, all right? Then he started attacking other things. So now he started attacking the kidnapping parts, right? So he said, for kidnapping a Capricorn, he said, he brought up a thing about Capricorn. Capricorn said, quote Capricorn said, well, like, I just wanted my life back. This was a quote that she gave after she had left working with Puff and came back. She said, I just wanted my life back. He's like, that doesn't sound like the words of somebody who's being forced labor. That doesn't sound like the words of somebody who's being kidnapped. In other words, this woman who you telling me has been kidnapped is saying after she's left, she's wanting to resume what she had previously. That doesn't co-align and it's not consistent with someone who's been kidnapped. All right. Also, he showed in a text message between Puff and Capricorn. Capricorn admitted that she had a crush on Puff. She told Puff in a text message that they had wasted their amazing chemistry all these years on being just super platonic friends. So basically, he was driving on the fact that a lot of Capricorn's motivation was jealousy. Like, she was jealous that Puff would deal with these other women and was hoping for that Puff would deal with her. Alright? Now, he said that the government says Capricorn got kidnapped when the jewelry was stolen. So basically, when the jewelry disappeared, she sent a text message out saying, like, to people at the building, hey, look, lock everybody in the building, the jury's gone. So she basically saying that she was giving instructions to keep everybody staying put because she wanted to find the jury. So it's like, she's almost like kidnapping people. But then they said, okay, she was getting the lie detector test done on her every day. But they're saying that she was getting picked up and taken home every day for 5 days, getting this lie detector test done. Because she didn't see Puff. Puff wasn't the one doing it. She was like, I forgot who he said did it exactly, but he said an ex-FBI agent was the one who did it. So she was like, what type of kidnapping is this? Where you get door-to-door escort home and back every night. He's like, the government wants you to think that she was stuck in this building for 5 days straight, tied up to a chair against her will. Reality was she was getting picked up every day and taken home every day, every single day for 5 days. So it was like, how can you get kidnapped if you're picked up and taken home every single day? And then he also added the fact that Capricorn said her statement, why did she go along with it? She said she wanted to prove herself. So he was like, this isn't kidnapping against your will. This was her basically saying that, hey, I want to prove myself that I wasn't the one who did this shit. I wanted my job still. All right. So then he asked the jurors, he said, matter of fact, have y'all been kidnapped? Because y'all get escorted in and out of this courtroom every single day and held for hours and hours and hours over intense questioning. So like, it sounds based on the government's definition, y'all kidnapped too. So like, man, what we doing here? Like, he was really on one, like frantically, like kind of like this is some bullshit, like on that type of energy. All right. All right. So then he said, okay, all thing about Capricorn being forced labor. He said Capricorn left working for Puff to go someplace else to make more money. So he's like, forced labor is when you can't go anywhere, you feel like you have no other options. Because the government is making it seem like Capricorn was like had no other options to work, was kind of stuck there. I'm good. Give me 10 minutes. Where I need to move to? Outside. Hey, all right. Hey, so we got, huh? My bad. Damn, we got to walk and talk. Hold on. Your boy got to walk and talk. I got to change my stoop. My bad, my G. Bear with me 1 second. Hold on. Y'all, it's going to be super sloppy, but hold on. Notebook in here. I got you. I ain't tripping. I feel you. Do your job. All right, man. I just got to get outside the fence right there. All right. Hold on. Y'all hold on. Difficulty. Hold on, technical difficulty. 1 minute. All right. Boom. No problem. Appreciate you being patient.
It's closed. You know what?
I ain't leaving up, did I?
All right, guys, we're closed.
Alright, I gotta find some place to go where I can sit and chill. Alright. Bam, I'll go right here. Y'all hold on. Here I come. Boom, right here. Boom. And we back. Perfect. All right, back in this thing. So now, peep game. All right, so where was I? All right, hold on. All right, so basically he said they're trying to say Capricorn was forced labor and she was scared to leave her job. But he brought the point that he said Capricorn left for a new job with more money. So she wasn't forced labor. She left for a bit. She wasn't forced to hell against her will. She willingly left and got more money when she left. So it wasn't like Puff didn't blackball her. She wasn't like, saying like helpless. She got more money. All right, so now. All right, so hold on. All right, here we go. All right. All right, so now they're analyzing the Cuddy situation. So now, in her initial in her on stand testimony, Capricorn said that when Puff came to her house to get her to go with him to go confront Cuddy, he had a gun. Big Mark said it wasn't no gun. All right, Big Mark said that was a lie. Big Mark said, why would he have a gun? All right. he said, he said, Puff showed up at Capricorn house at 5 o'clock in the morning with a gun for what reason? He said, matter of fact, Capricorn liked Puff. She probably had to wait for him to show up at her house 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, she probably prayed for this day. But he was like, he didn't have no gun. He's like, wasn't no reason for him to have a gun. He said, he said, shoot Cuddy with his style. Oh, okay, yeah. He said, shoot Cuddy wouldn't have been his style.
Yeah.
He said, Puff was a fighter. Puff had been known to fight people, and people had testified that Puff would run up on people and fight people. He said, nah, this is going to be a fight. This is going to be a man-to-man fight over a woman type of thing. He said, excuse my language, a toxic masculinity. This is going to be a man versus man fight over a woman situation. He said there was no gun, and he said they pointed out earlier that Capricorn originally only pointed out that there was a gun after she had talked to the government like 3 or 4 times, right?
So wait, which 2 weeks did he do? Was it twice he said the government charged?
All right, Cassie gave Puff Cuddy address, and Puff had everything to lose. All right, so these are the reasons why we know Puff didn't have a gun. All right, so yeah, all right, so I got it now. These are the reasons he said Puff, we know Puff didn't have a gun. He laid them out. He said, why we have a gun? He was at Capricorn at 5 o'clock in the morning, and basically said Puff wanted to fight Cuddy. And he pointed out Cuddy wanted to fight Puff too. All right, then he said Cassie gave Puff Cuddy address. And he's just basically picking up Capricorn for like for verification, like, hey, we can ride, go ride bus to bro house. Then he said Puff had everything to lose. Like, one thing you've noticed about Puff, even through the trials, like Puff is very conscious about making moves and doing things where he can expose himself and make him vulnerable to basically getting losing money or public ridicule or something bad gonna happen. Like, he ain't moving reckless like that. Like, showing up to her house with a gun openly out, going to go look for Cuddy, that don't fit his MO. Then he said, had Puff pulled a gun on Capricorn and forced her in the car as she stated, she wouldn't have stayed employed with Puff. Like, who would get a gun pulled on them by their employer, forced to get in the car, and still continue to work for them? That don't make logical sense. I was like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, you pull a gun on SK, I'm out. Like, yeah, fam, like, consider this my 2-week notice, I'm out the door. All right. Then, this is the most key thing he said. He finally said, look, when Puff was in the house, was in Cuddy's house, Capricorn took the phone out and called and alerted Cuddy and Cassie that, hey, we're at Cuddy's house. Puff is pissed. He's waiting on Cassie. He's trying to look for Cuddy. Because that's when Cuddy was like, this nigga's in my house? Like, I'm finna pull up. He said that, okay, Capricorn's job or Capricorn's desire was to warn Cuddy about what was going on. So, had Puff really had a gun, she would have told him specifically, Puff has a gun. In other words, she wouldn't call him and be like, hey, I just want you to know Puff is at your house looking for Cassie, looking for you and Cassie, and he's furious, and not added the fact, hey, he got strapped. Because now she knows, because she heard basically Cuddy's response, like, he was pissed, like, I'm gonna come back to my house, like, what you mean, like, he on the way. And since she was calling him today, she was like, warned him, she wouldn't leave out the fact he had a gun. Like, yeah, he's in your house, but I'm not gonna tell you he has a gun. Like, that don't make sense. So that was his reason why there was no gun. And he's like, if there was no gun, and all this thing is true, there was no kidnapping. That's point blank period. Like, she got in the car willingly, and she was trying to play both sides. Like, she got in the car, she went along with it, but she wasn't trying to let Puff know. She wanted to basically show Puff that she still was riding, she was like doing her job, but she also was trying to basically warn Cassie to protect them as well. Like, she was playing both sides. So she wasn't being kidnapped, she was playing both sides, and that's how she ended up there. Alright. Then he went to the car, they brought the car situation. Oh, then, okay, so there. He also said Capricorn lied about the car chase. Because he was like, you know, Cuddy got up here, he spoke his piece. He said, said he kept it. He was very authentic. He said at no point in time in his testimony did he say we got the car chase or I ran from Puff. And he was like, Capricorn completely made it up. Then he was like, the police. Matter of fact, Puff ended up getting a ticket for trespassing because they got a bad boy. They got a bad boy. There was a bad boy car. They seen Puff's truck up there. They wrote license plates down, and long story short, they ended up giving him a ticket for trespassing. So he was like the policeman seen the truck and wrote the pass for trespassing. So he was like, if this policeman seen Puff's truck up there in a high-speed chase, you don't think he would have noted that in his notes or kind of like followed through with that, or that would be some type of way documented? Like he documented seeing Puff's truck, the bad boy truck. He ran the place. He was registered the bad boy. He wrote them a speed. He wrote them a trespassing ticket. It was like Capricorn made that shit up. He said that the police officer didn't mention anything about high-speed chase. Cuddy didn't mention anything about high-speed chase. Shit was made up. All right. And then as far as his car goes, Cuddy's car get fireballed. He said Puff didn't have anything to do with that. He said that's not Puff's style. He's a fighter. Like Puff wanted to fight. He said Puff wanted to fight Cuddy. He didn't want to bomb his car. Like he wanted to fight. He wanted to fight Cuddy. And he said Puff. He said there's no record or no document showing where Puff said anything about firebombing Cuddy's car. And they pulled up the email that Cassie sent her mom. In the email, she basically says that Puff had threatened to harm her and Cuddy, but it doesn't say anything about car firebomb in case you want to be. So he's basically like they made that shit up. Like that just. I mean, wait, no, he said that there was DNA found at the site. They did not investigate the DNA. You see me, Nev? I'm out here. It was like it's DNA at the site. They didn't like check the DNA. It was a woman's DNA. So the government ain't tell you nothing about that. They made no mention of that. That the only DNA found at the site or on the bottle was that of a woman. He was like, they ain't mentioned none of that to y'all. They said they said so they just want you to avoid that. Oh, I said no. Don't pay attention to this evidence that's here. Don't pay attention to the fact that no one saw Puff or anybody affiliated with a bad boy do anything to this man's car. Don't pay attention to the fact that there's DNA evidence found at this on this bottle that's related to a woman. No, don't pay attention to that. Just believe Puff did it. Just because they say so. That was the energy he had with it, right? So then he went to Cassidy kidnapping, right? So then he said, okay, he said with Cassidy kidnapping thing, he's like, Cassie didn't say anything about force. Oh yeah, he said Cassie didn't say anything in her statement about being made to go anywhere or taken by force. He basically said that, hey, you can't be kidnapped. It's hard. He basically, you can't be kidnapped when you want to stay with your kidnapper. So in other words, Cassie and Diddy had a fight. D-Rock took Cassie and put Cassie in the hotel. Cassie apparently told him that she wanted to go to the hotel.
Yeah, no, pardon.
Oh, no, we good. Oh, okay.
No.
Everybody doing the same thing, trying to like not give each other space and kind of like over talk each other. So basically, Cassie, like I said, but Cassie was like, I'm trying to listen. Oh no. So no, y'all keep messing me up, man. So hey, so Cassie was like, I don't want to go to the hotel. I want to stay here. And basically, D-Rock or whoever was like, nah, we take you to the hotel so you can chill out for a day. So they took her to the hotel so she could chill out and everything like that. But they basically was like, you can't tell me she's being kidnapped when she wants to stay with the person who's allegedly kidnapping her. Like, she wanted to stay at the house with Puff, but they made her go to the hotel, like, separate the two of them. She can get kind of like duck off and them, lay low and stuff like that, in case it may be, right? All right, so now, we went to the bribery to the security guard. He said basically the purpose of the money being paid was to avoid bad publicity, which they said before. He basically said he showed the testimony. Basically, the word saying basically they were worried about hotel employees. He showed the testimony basically where it says they were worried about hotel employees selling the tape to a news outlet. Like that was a specific thing to worry about. They were worried about a news outlet, somebody finding out about the situation, them giving it to a news outlet, selling it to them, and then they them basically putting it out there, kind of put them on front. So he said that was the purpose for them wanting to get the tape out. That's the sole reason. He said there was no police involvement. So he basically said for it to be bribery, the police had to be involved, or the threat of getting turned over to the police had to be on the table. So he said the people at the hotel had no basic ambition or no desire to take it to the police. And he said Puff was basically being proactive, like, hey, I need this to disappear because if this was to fall into public hands, it could ruin me. And he had told several people that, like, that was his main focus, right? And they said under Cali law, if there's no police involvement, it can't be robbery. All right, that was that. All right, so now witness tampering. All right, so D-Rock and Mia. Basically, he showed messages from Mia when she tells D-Rock she's out of money. So basically, D-Rock reached out to Mia like, hey, what's good? Ain't talked to you in a while. Blase, what's going on? Mia hits him back like, yeah, man, I'm out here just doing my thing. I'm out here working with a couple like little special charity groups and non-profits doing my thing. But then Mia says I'm out here doing my thing with her, but it's getting difficult because I'm out of Skrilla. She tells him she's out of money. So D-Rock like, oh, okay, let me see if we can get you straight. Let me see if I can get you a couple dollars. So he was like, that's why D-Rock offered her money, because she told D-Rock she was out of money. He wasn't bribing her. He started a conversation and she put the money out there first, and D-Rock was following up with her about it. Oh, okay, let's see if I can get you something. That's where the whole giving her money part was, all right? But he stressed that the prosecution did not show the jurors that message. He was like, they told you their narrative, and he brought that whole thing like, look, I told you, it's two trials. It's the real trial and it's the fake trial. The fake trial, they didn't show you this message. They didn't show you this at all. They want you to believe that D-Rock was basically wishing tampering, trying to offer his girl millions of dollars to do X, Y, and Z. But the real trial, this is what happened. This is what we're going to show. We're going to show you real stuff. All right? This is a long day today, man. Ooh, Addy. All right, so now. All right, so now we had a little, we have a small little break, right? We had a small little break. The judge confronted the defense like, watch. Also, basically, the prosecution in the break, the prosecution and the defense got into a heated argument. It was basically like they're basically arguing about objectives being made, like not being made. The defense, we didn't. So basically, the prosecution objected in some of the defense stuff the defense said. It was like they shouldn't be able to say that. This or the third. So the defense came back like, look, man, I'm like, we don't appreciate you objecting to our thing. Like, we injected nothing y'all said yesterday. We sat still, let y'all speak y'all piece, and then we said we basically kind of addressed that later on in our thing. And now y'all trying to put ejection, kind of mess up our flow. And basically the defense was like, matter of fact, we didn't eject y'all, and y'all told several lies in y'all thing yesterday. Like y'all closed argument, y'all told a couple lies. Like basically the defense says they lied about the definition for RICO, and they lied about the definition for sex trafficking. They basically lied about that. They say they lied about that. They said we didn't interrupt y'all when y'all got your shit off. So don't interrupt when we get our shit off. That's basically summation of it, right? And the judge was like, yeah, I feel you, but I'm gonna step in. So when the jury came back in, the judge was like, hey, disregard. So it was something he said. It wasn't that big of a deal, but he's like, hey, disregard something they said. Like, they disregard that. Don't you worry about that, right? So pick back up. So back on Mia. So they showed a text message where basically, because Mia testified that Puff basically sexually assaulted her, like basically raped her. Basically, like Puff crept up on her room one night and basically smashed her against her will. That's what she testified to. So the defense showed a text message Puff sent to Mia basically saying that, hey, I'm going to tell Cassie. I'm going to tell Cassie about this. Basically implying that they had an ongoing thing of some sort and that Puff was going to come clean to Cassie about the situation. And the fact that Mia and Cassie were both friends. Now Puff never did that, but he basically indicated in text like, hey, I'm going to tell Mia about this. So, right? So basically, they were trying to prove that the thing that happened between Mia and Puff was consensual. Okay? So now, next thing they did, they pulled out this big book. Now this is a big, thick book. It was about like biblical size. Like it's what it felt like. It was like the size of a Bible type of thickness, right? Mia created that for Puff for his 45th birthday. And what it was a collection of pictures and photos and accomplishments from 1990 to 1999. Like all pictures of Puff, things he's done with Biggie, Mary J, albums, collabs, like a whole, like just a big ass like yearbook-esque like folder of just nothing but pictures and stuff. And on the very top of it, she wrote a long letter basically like, hey, happy birthday of this day. I hope you get to take all this in about what you've done, what you've accomplished so bad. I know who would like. I got something to remember. Just describe what she said. I hope you remember. You know, I know life is fast, but every once in a while you should stop and take a moment to really, you know, take in what you've done. You know, how many people you've helped and how great of a human you are. Like a long, sincere, heartfelt versus like some real super dope shit. And they was like, but this is a person who was sexually assaulting you. Like, you sexually assaulted by this. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm not sending heartfelt birthday messages to somebody who sexually assaulted me. But so then they showed a big picture. They showed a huge picture of like Puff and all like the all his workers, like Puff, D-Rock, KK, Mia, like everybody. So they showed a big picture of them, and it was like, is this a criminal enterprise? Like all them, like a very heartfelt, like loving picture back at his birthday. I was like, is this a criminal enterprise? Like, look, you see everybody here. Like, is this what a criminal enterprise looks like? They trying to drive home like, this is not a criminal enterprise. This is like a legitimate business, right? You know, this criminal enterprise, this racketeering, are these racketeers? And it was like, damn, like it was really like a dope ass picture though, like some real dope shit. All right. So then he started getting on KK. He's like, they want you to believe that KK is a co-conspirator.
Yeah, let's stand.
They want you to believe KK is an evil person.
Yeah, right.
They was like, okay, we're gonna show you a couple things about KK. He was like, KK is a super dope person. He was like, everybody needs a KK in their life. He's like, if you're lucky, you would be lucky to have a KK in your life. He basically showed his messages between Mia and KK. And basically in the messages, Mia is threatening to kill herself. And basically it went something like this, like he was like reading the text message off. And this is how he's reading it off. Like he said, like, message Mia, I'm going to kill myself. Racketeering conspirator KK. Oh my God. I hope you're not serious. Mia, yes, I feel that way, seriously. Racketeering conspirator KK. I'm calling you now, pick up the phone. Mia, I just don't want to do this anymore. Racketeering conspirator KK. Hey, pick up the phone. I'm not playing. This is not serious. This is not funny. I'm worried about you. Mia, I just can't right now. Racketeering conspirator KK. Well, I'm gonna call so and have them come pick you up because you can't do this. We can't have you out here like this. Like he's going on and on and on. And he kept adding racketeering conspirator KK to everything he was saying. Like it was time for KK to get some message. Kind of drive that point home. Like this is a person you're saying is a racketeering conspirator, but look what she's doing for like the people who were like saying like she's a boogie woman, right? All right, so then they went to basically the law on drugs, right? Because he was like, all right, so he's on the he's trying to break down conspiracy things, right? So he's like, look, the law on drugs. Person possessing drugs for solely personal use, then it's not distribution. So if you possess drugs for solely personal use, he say that's not distribution. So he's saying like, what are we doing? Like, he's basically saying like all the fancy stuff that the prosecution showed the other week with about as far as like, you know, what drugs, you know, all the drugs, that's drug distribution. Like having drugs on use for personal use is not distribution. Just that point blank period. All right. So now they went to Brendan Paul. He was like, Brendan Paul forgot to take a 0.7 of a gram coke out of his bag. He had a great lawyer. He got his case dismissed. All right. So he's saying like, that's what it was. So he was like, Brendan Paul had a 7 tenths of a gram of coke in his pocket that he found, picked up, and forgot to take it out of his bag. He told you on the stand that he had a great lawyer and he got basically off with probation for first offenders type of probation type of thing, right? He said, but the headline the prosecution wanted to show you was this was Puff's drug mule. He drug that home. He's like, so that's the real case and the fake case. So he drove that point home with there, right? So then he basically said, man, he said Puff is a drug addict. He said, yeah. He was like, so yes, he has employees. He has people work for him. And yes, them doing personal tasks for him is like 1% of what their job is and what they do. He's like, look, Puff is a drug addict. He said, you know, we don't deny that. He said, listen, unless you're going to grow your own Xanax, there's only so many ways you can get your own drugs. And he was like, you know, like, this is what it is. Like, he's a drug addict. Like, he has to get his drugs somehow. Like, so asking his friends to help him get drugs from time to time ain't far-fetched. It's not criminal about it. I mean, it's criminal, but it's not federal criminal. It's not racketeering. It's not like, you know, it's not racketeers. Like, he's just getting drugs for his own usage. But he's like, he said like, he said, so I tell you that, but the government will tell you that that he was distributing drugs. But again, those drugs were for his own personal use. Long day today, fam. I'm telling you, it was a long day today, fam. All right, so now, back to him and Cassie. He's like, look, it's their sex life. He said, basically, they're swingers. He said he wasn't making money off her. It was his girlfriend. Like, this is what they was into. He said, basically, he basically came short of calling Cassie a hoe. Like, he said, you know what I mean? And Cassie, like, don't get it twisted. Now, she was not no innocent, like, this fool, like, no innocent, naive, like, little, like, you know, innocent girl. Like, she was dating Cuddy. She was dating Michael B. Jordan. He said, shit, Michael B. Jordan might be the most handsome man on earth right now. Like, she was dating him, like, he said, and then he was like, she was dating some of these guys at the same time. I mean, that's really how she was getting down. Like, that's what she was into. And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine for her to be that way. It was like, oh, dang, call you Cassie a hoe. Oh, good. He said, with that being said, like, the government says some of the events they had was consensual, right? He said, well, how is Puff supposed to know when it's consensual or it's not? He's like, if they did this like 75 times, what? Is he supposed to know the 76th time this is consensual? Like, how is he supposed to know? Like, how do you reasonably expect him to know the time when it flipped from being consensual to all of a sudden she didn't want to do it anymore? Like, it doesn't make sense. All right. All right. So then he said the lead-up text to the intercontinental incident that happened where the government is saying basically that was one of the freakouts that was Cassie didn't want to do, that was sex trafficking. They showed what he read out. He said, I'm going to read you the text leading up to that day. And the text basically he said, my pussy's so hot just thinking about it. And makes my pussy cream. Like, he read this off in court and literally we was on the floor laughing like, oh shit, like, yeah, he got that off in court. So then he plays the video. So now he plays the video and basically the angle he's selling is that the video and the whole incident was about the phone. Like, basically he's saying that Cassie took Puff's phone, where he said took either Puff or Cassie phone, which I'm like, why don't you know which one it was? Like, you seem like it should be definite. Like, he was like, she took one of the phones, and it basically showed a still shot of Cassie basically having the phone in her hand, and then later on he fast forwards it, and then like you see Puff come out, Puff just had nothing in his hands. Then you fast forward further down the line, he had a phone in his hands. So basically, he said that Puff went, hemmed her up, kicked her, and then took the phone, because that's what he went outside for over the phone. That's what he's selling. That's what he's selling. It was like, all right. I mean, okay. So he said like he wasn't dragging her back to a freak off. He took the phone because it was something about she saw messages in the phone, something that she didn't like. All right. So then it's another part of the video where Puff is sitting in the chair and she's sitting there right beside him, and she's basically screaming at Puff like, "Hey, look, you can see her screaming at Puff. Go back to the fucking room. Go back to the fucking room." Like, she's telling Puff to go back to the room. He's like, shit, look, he's sitting out there in a chair with a towel on and socks, and she's telling him, go back to the room. Basically, you look ridiculous. Go back to the room. Like, get up, get out here, go back to the room. Like, that doesn't sound. Basically saying like, that don't sound like somebody who's trying to get away from this man to save her life. That sounds like somebody like, look, fam, like, we had this episode, but you need to get your ass back in the room because right now you look ridiculous and you're making the block way hotter than what it needs to be right now. Right? So then he shows text messages that they had the next couple of days, right? So the next day, Puff sent her a message and it says, "Baby, I'm so sorry." Cassie takes him back, laugh out loud. That's funny because this song "Sorry" is playing on the radio. They go back and forth with more messages. Cassie some point in time says like, "You don't have to be sorry to me. We just got to do better," or basically something about. She makes a comment about him being too high on drugs at times. Like how are we gonna deal with when you like super high on drugs? And Puff makes a comment about like, "I'm going to go to rehab to get me some help and get myself better." Like, it look like some genuine shit. Like, hey, like basically her saying like, you get on these drugs, you get wild the hell out. And Puff being like, "Yeah, you right. I'ma fix it and get better." One thing I came out there for sure, like that was his girl for real. Like, he was like, I mean, he seemed to be seriously in love with her. I used to always think like he was just dragging her around like she's just dragging her like some chick. Like, nah, he was really on some like he really like was feeling her like that, like sincerely. All right, so now they went to the rape. Cassie got to stand and say Puff raped her. Whoa, this was a whopper. This was a whopper. So basically, he showed text messages. He showed a text message. So basically, talked us through what happened leading up to the incident. They went out, had dinner, chilled, back and forth, went back to the hotel. All right. He basically said that she didn't say he raped her until later on down the line, like in like a later later accounts of when she told the government what she experienced, right? My dog Lucci over here. Lucci walked up. I'm seeing if Lucci come say something. Lucci come. Lucci shoot. Lucci fuck with his hold on. Let me see if Lucci come this way too. Hold on. When Lucci come this way, I'ma ask Lucci what he thought about that. Turn around. If Lucci come this way, I'ma ask Lucci to be like, "Hey, what you thought about the defense, defense today? What you think about this shit?" Lucci will fuck with it. Lucci will fuck with his boy. Lucci solid. So now, we get back to it. So in the meantime, the accounts of the rape, they said she didn't basically acknowledge that it was a rape until later, second or third meeting with the government, right? So then it was like he showed the text message that she sent afterwards, right? After that incident happened. Text message read, "I told myself I didn't want anything to happen, and I'm not tripping on it. I know you aren't either." So basically, the text message is inferring that she was like, she didn't want to do anything sexually with Puff, but basically it happened. But then she acknowledged, I'm not tripping on it. And I know you're not either. Alright? So basically she's acknowledging something happened. She's not tripping. And she know Puff ain't tripping either. Right? So now, big issue. Huge issue. During this exchange, Puff confronts her. Puff confronts her because while they're having sex, somebody tries to FaceTime her. FaceTime her, but not FaceTime. It was some type of what's it called? Some type of app that basically allows you to video call, but it wasn't FaceTime. It was something else. Somebody tried to FaceTime her, and she didn't pick it up. So Puff was like, it's a dude trying to FaceTime you, and you didn't answer it. Cassie basically was like, she did not know who the person was, and she was like, it's always, they going, Lucci and them going the other way. Damn, Lucci, come back this way, fam. Fuck with your boy. So yeah, so Cassie was like, she was like, nah, people be randomly hitting my phone sometime with that app for no reason. Like, I don't understand it. Like, basically, she was lying to Puff. Now, in reality, what it was her current boyfriend FaceTiming her. But she was hiding it from Puff, and she hid it from him too. So now, it gets deeper in the rap. Hold on. Follow me on this. So now, so Puff calls her out like, man, like, basically, you full of shit. You lying. Like, ask like, you full of shit, you lying. Who was that? And Cassie basically played dumb, like, hey, I don't know who that was. Like, I really don't know who that was. Like, it was like a wrong number type of thing. Like, I have no clue who that was. But now, the angle they play it now is Cassie was never raped. What happened was her ex-boyfriend, her boyfriend figured out that she was with Puff, and the only way to save her ass from getting like, from falling out with her boyfriend was to say like, hey, he raped me. So basically they're saying that she put the rape angle to save herself and face for her boyfriend. So that was like a moment. Also, there was an apology text that the prosecution put out saying that apology text saying that they were saying that this was a text Puff sent to Cassie apologizing for raping her. It said something like, hey, I know you didn't find me attractive last night, but I'm trying to be a better person and I'm gonna win you back over type of thing. But they're saying like, what they're not telling you is that text was from August. The rape incident, quote unquote, happened in September. That's two totally different situations, two things that's not connected to each other that they basically kind of report you on, right? So basically they bust down that. So basically they really bust down that rape shit hard. They nothing else, they kill that shit. Oh, it was Luch. Oh, Luch running with me. Luch, I need a shirt. Oh, he come this way. Okay. Shit, I'm seeing you get my boy Luch on here. Let's have 2 pictures. Alright, so now, okay, hold on, so Jane Doe. So now, they went to Jane Doe. Sheesh, boys, notes in here. Notes, put notes on the notes. They went to Jane Doe. Jane Doe admitted she thought he did things to hide his own personal shame. In other words, she admitted she thought Puff was like doing that type of stuff because he had secret like gay fetishes, right? But she was like, she did him with him willingly because she didn't want him to feel judged in his vulnerable stage. In other words, she did it because she wanted to appease him and didn't want him to feel a certain way because like, for being vulnerable, whatever the case may be, right? Alright, so he says like, hey, she's clear she loves Puff, but she also loves things. Like she loves tangible gifts, things of that nature. And she would basically get jealous. Her gripe was that other women were getting things or getting better things than she was getting. Like, why were you on a yacht trip when I wasn't? Why did you get a bag and I didn't get a bag? Like, they're not doing this stuff that I'm doing. Like, why they get things that I'm not getting things, right? So to show the message So it basically showed a couple of meshes between her and a couple of dudes at the cowboy thing, basically the escorts, basically saying she liked it, yada yada yada. Hey, Luke! Luke! Oh, he come this way. Oh, he come this way. So he come this way. I'll see my boy Luke. Hey, Luke! Luke! Turn around. What up, G? Hold on, I'm gonna get him come fuck with us. Hold on. Boy, S can get exclusive out here. Yeah, get exclusive out here. Hold on. Luke! You got my shirt? What's good? You got me? Ah!
They bum rushed me early this morning.
What's good?
I got you, but I ain't gonna forget you. What's going on? What you got going over here?
I got my little video going on here with my live.
you right here?
Yeah, it's me.
What you got going on over here?
Tell me what you think about the boy Defense today. Marc.
Marc Agnifilo?
Yeah.
Agnifilo, that's his new name. He did a magnificent job getting everything across to the jurors. And they explained it in detail, whereas that it was never explained before.
Right.
Because if you listen to the prosecution and the way they constantly telling you these stories, and you know, Kid Cudi car was never blown up.
Right.
The car, and that's just a misconception and a lie. Matter of fact, no, it's not. That's a lie.
That's what it is.
His car, there was the door, the seat on the left-hand side was burned. So either he can get it repaired or he can get a new seat.
Right.
The car was not destroyed.
Nah, it wasn't.
The car was not blown up.
Nah.
And see,
that's not told.
See, to me, if you lie about one thing, you're lying about something else.
How I know? Then
they forgot to tell everybody that Cassie said, hey, I'm doing this because I don't want him to go get another girl to do it.
Right.
They asked her, why is she doing the freak off if she didn't want to do it? She said, because if I don't do it, he's going to get somebody else to do it. So that's a choice.
Right.
Right or
you
wrong?
chose to do that.
Right, because you don't want me to do it, so you're going to do it, right?
Right.
So that's not somebody, that's not sex trafficking. That's not somebody making you do it.
Right.
Then the other girl, he broke up with her over half a dozen times. And she continued to come back. And then he asked her, let's be friends, act like our friendship better. No, blah, blah. And the only time she started screaming about doing a freak off is when she found out about Young Miami.
Right.
She's like, oh, get that bitch to do it. Get this person to do it. Because, you know, you only want me for this. If he bought somebody something nice, she wanted the same kind of gift. She's not happy. That's how you count in my pockets.
Right.
I probably ain't looking at you like a Birkin bag. Right. You're probably a nice Gucci. Right. You're lucky you're not an Anne Klein bag. I'm getting you a Gucci, right? A Coach, right? I'm not getting. We can't shit on Coach. Coach is still slick, but you can't. Right?
I'll still get one of my chicks a Coach.
She could be a guest bag, easy, right? So don't get mad because I'm spending my money. I'm spending my money wisely. I want to get this girl a Birkin. You probably ain't worth the Birkin. Right. Maybe you don't carry yourself like a Birkin. Right. Maybe you carry yourself like a guest bag. Right. Maybe you carry yourself like a shopping bag. Right. I don't know how you carry yourself. She's disrespectful. Based on the information, she goes to Kanye. She goes to this other artist, freak off, and she gets. This ain't even her freak off. You get naked at somebody's freak off.
She get down with it.
You walk into somebody else's freak off. They're having sex in there, and you looking because you know the dude. You get naked.
Yeah, you probably do this shit too.
You like. It speaks for you.
Man, listen.
And
I'll tell you right there.
And she said this out of her own mouth. She didn't get this out of the information I'm giving you. Say hearsay. Right. This is what she said. This is what Cassie said. I'm telling you what they're saying. I'm not telling you what the defense is saying. Right. They're telling these stories. Right. Out their own mouth why they did this and why they did it. And then you're gonna try to say this. Then the government told y'all when they had everybody thinking that there was drugs in the baby oil. They knew what was being said in the black community. They knew what was being said in the black community. They never came up and said, listen, Mr. Combs, there's no drugs in the baby oil. They did a toxicology on that baby oil. There was no drugs in there. They could have put that fire out a long time ago, right? Long time ago. They could have put out the fact that there was no children involved in this case a long time ago. They could have put out the fire that he wasn't going around raping people and drugging people. They could have put that fire out a long time ago. But what they did was they allowed it to fester in the black community and the Latino community because they didn't want him to have any type of support. So what they did was they neutralized the support system because they know people, you got a sister, you got a brother, you got a mom, you got children. You're gonna feel a way about a person that's doing something like that. Right. So if there's a rumor being spread about you, they're not gonna put the nobody gonna step up for you. So think about it. He ran a marathon, had millions outside. Right. Millions was outside. All he did was ran a marathon. A month before he got in trouble, we had just did Madison Square Garden. It wasn't even his show, it was Mary J. Blige show. Right. He came on stage and shut the whole thing down by himself. No other artists. They were screaming, lost their mind. Then he got the Key to the City. The whole 42nd Street, Times Square, screaming, and you gotta Google the video. That was his support system.
Yeah.
Anytime he did, they ain't tried to, they did that. Right. That's why I was the only one out here. Right. Because I couldn't get nobody else to throw on a free Puff shirt. I couldn't get nobody to throw on a free Diddy shirt. I couldn't get nobody to throw on a Rico's not a Rico, Rico's not a Rico. I couldn't get nobody to put on any type of support shirts. I couldn't do that. So I put it on my back and I wore it like a Superman with an S on the chest.
That's some real shit.
All right?
That's some real shit. You're a real one for that.
I appreciate you.
It was but yeah, I'm gonna link in with you this week and see what you got going this week.
I got you.
All right. You said I want that shirt though.
I got you.
All right, fellas.
That's you right there. That's nice, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
That's nice.
I had a nice Lucci shirt, man. Lucci, my jacket. I got you, Lucci, man. Hey, Luke. I think my jacket got you now. My jacket clean now. Hey, clean out here. All right, I'm back. It's diabolical. Hey, I got y'all the exclusive, man. Hey, fuck with your boy out here, man. Hey, so now, let me finish. God dang, where we at? Sheesh. All right, I gotta finish this like in 10 minutes, fam. All right, hold on. Appreciate it, Brandon. All right, so now, Jane Doe. Lucci's baby gave all Jane Doe stuff, so I'm finna move with Jane Doe, because Lucci told all Jane Doe stuff. Sobriety party, so now. All right, so the Friday party. Oh, he threw a shot 50 in there, cause he was like, after sobriety party, Puff basically was like, hey, I'm gonna help you out. So he was like, listen, she got a great lawyer now cause Puff paying for it, but the lawyer she had before this was terrible. I mean, this woman must have the worst child support lawyer ever. Like, she has no money, she's broke. I mean, Jesus Christ, Puff's out here picking up the slack for her other baby father, who y'all all know who he is. I'm like, oh man, you shading 50 like that? Oh man, he shaded Phil. Oh man. All right, the last incident, basically like this one, I'll keep it bad with you. I wasn't kind of I was like, kind of last one. Basically, Puff, she attacked Puff. He brought that up, called Puff a pedo. All right. Then talked about I ain't talking about that. You talking about that shit? I ain't talking about that. All right. He said man act prostitution. All right. So basically, he was like, look, they put as far as like the man act prostitution. He was like, look, they put up a post with 37 quote unquote prostitutes on there, right? He was like, fam, they called 2 people up here. They put 37 up, they called 2 people over here. I wonder why. Because everybody said there ain't no prostitute, right? He said government called witnesses when it the government called witnesses, and they said the witnesses basically said, I don't have sex for money. All right. So he's like, you call these prostitutes, but if you had literally told you like, I don't have sex for money, don't call me a prostitute. That's not what I do. All right. Oh yeah, he said something. Basically, he made another joke about like, if that's the case, he like, he threw the dudes out, gave them some money, and they end up having sex like sometimes. He's like, well, that's the case. Everybody having prostitution. Like your girlfriend out, that's prostitution. Like everybody having prostitution in. All right, he said, so we got the enterprise vibe. So he's like, enterprise, a group of people engaged together. We were for a common goal. He was like, they have an enterprise, but not one person came into court and testified to being a part of this enterprise. He's like, there's a lack of evidence for RICO. Then the charge of racketeer conspiracy, and they don't have any co-conspirators. He's like, there's not one person who's gonna come in here and testify that, hey, I was a co-conspirator, or hey, I was a member of this enterprise. He's like, you don't have one single person come testify for that. All right. Said KK was the single most helpful person to Puff. He's like, they tried to stay with KK a co-conspirator, but KK was just his best friend, like it's his confidant. Like he talked about the incident at Cassie's door. He's like, he was like, they called Coco and KK a co-conspirator, right? And he was like, listen, when Puff was beating on Cassie's door with a hammer, Cassie called KK to call Puff and get him to jump off the door. He said, now think about it. If John Gotti was beating on your door with a hammer, would you call Sammy the Bull to come over there? Because that's a co-conspirator. He said, no, you wouldn't do that. That'd be insane. He said, no. He called KK because KK was a voice of reason. KK was somebody who would like to reason with Puff. Like, hey, chill out. You're doing too much, type of thing like that. He said D-Rock. He said they tried to say D-Rock kidnapped Cassie a couple times, a co-conspirator. But they showed basically several messages where basically Cassie said D-Rock was like family. A couple times she wouldn't stay with D-Rock and his wife. Like D-Rock was somebody she could trust and confide in. So basically kind of killed the notion of D-Rock being just some type of wild, just like co-conspirator who like would basically help kidnap her or whatever it gets to be. He basically said the government, you can't trust them. I'll show you numerous lies they told. How can you trust them? They tell you 3 lies. How you can know they didn't tell you 6 lies, basically? He said they found Puff's guns, but he's not charged with any gun charges. And furthermore, not only is he not charged with any gun charges, they can't tell you where they found the guns at. They raided 3 of his homes. They can't tell you where any of the guns were found at any of his homes. So it's like, what level of amateurism is this? Are they just that incompetent, or are they purposely not telling you the truth? He was like, either way is bad, basically. But he's like, feels like they're basically lying. He went in. He killed the government. He basically like he gave them a piece of his mind. All right. So basically, he basically rested on that. We took a 15-minute break for the government's rebuttal. After he kind of rested, the jury left. Puff got up, spoke to his family. When they was on a 15-minute break, he gave Mark a hug, basically like good job type of vibes, and they kind of sat there and chilled for the 15-minute break. Now after that 15-minute break, the government came back with their rebuttal. All right, so now I'm going to basically go live tomorrow and go over the government rebuttal. I feel this video is way too long to add a rebuttal to the end of it as well. So I'm gonna go live tomorrow and go over the government rebuttal. And it was quality work still. So I gotta give them their just due. I got to call it fair as possible. They came back with some work. But definitely Big Mark basically made it seem today like, hey, look, like he gave Puff some hope today. After yesterday, I pretty much thought Puff was cooked. But after Big Mark was up there today, I said, okay, they got life today. So tap in with your boy tomorrow. I'm gonna give breakdown the government's rebuttal. Like, subscribe, share. Give me some stars too. You tell me I need stars. Give me some stars. Give your boy some stars, man. You're your boy. SK Brokaw. Signing out.